and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight. Viewers, remember, share our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. So we're going to Tobago for a little update. The Tobago People's Party, TPP, has officially announced its list of nominees for the screening in all 15 electoral districts for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly THA elections. A total of 48 nominees have been submitted for consideration. TPP political leader Fali Augustine made the announcement on Wednesday during a local morning program as he listed the number of nominees in a few districts. Listen to this, viewers.
Well, in my district, you have yours truly. We go to Roxwood Argyle, which is the next district. In that area, we have 3 nominees at present. We move to Belgarden, Glamorgan, and we have 1 nominee in Mount St. George, Goodwood. We have 6 people there. We go to Bagatelle, Bacalet next, and there we have 1 nominee at this time. And in Scarborough, Mount Grace, we have 3 individuals. In Lambo Lowlands, we have 1 nominee at this time. In Boko, Mount Pleasant, we have 3 nominees. Then we go to Bethesda, Lakoto. In that area, we have 3 individuals. Then we go to Plymouth, Blackrock. We also have 3 individuals vying for this area.
The San Fernando City Corporation is advising the public that the Marabella Market will be closed on Monday, November 3rd, 2025, and the San Fernando Central Market on Monday, November 10th, 2025, to facilitate a full sanitization exercise. According to the corporation, these closures are part of the ongoing efforts to ensure a clean and safe environment for both vendors and shoppers. Vendors are being reminded to remove all produce and personal items ahead of the scheduled cleaning dates to allow the process to be completed effectively. So viewers, the Marabella Market will be closed on Monday, November 3rd, remember the date, and the San Fernando Central Market Monday, November 10th. So remember those days, viewers, it's for sanitization of the market. Minister of Health, Dr. Lakram Bodo, have stated that the Trinidad and Tobago is ready and willing to assist Jamaica following the devastation after effects of Hurricane Melissa. This as he addressed the opening ceremony of the Caribbean Public Health Agency program to strengthen and prevent outbreaks of mosquito-borne disease. He added that TNT stands in solidarity with Jamaica.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago, of course, stands in solidarity with our major CARICOM partner, Jamaica. The Prime Minister would have, as early as Monday, implemented and directed an effort in terms of a collection drive, which is ongoing. As I speak right now, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health is meeting with his counterparts in other relevant ministries to try and coordinate an effort.
The Minister also noted that the CAFA has already prepared a package which could be ready to leave Trinidad and Tobago as early as Thursday, if required, to begin providing tangible assistance to the people of Jamaica.
I was part of a virtual meeting with the CARICOM health ministers in terms of trying to anticipate, but of course no one could have anticipated on Monday evening what would have transpired yesterday in Jamaica. So, you know, our empathies go out to those who have lost their lives in Jamaica, and of course we give the commitment on behalf of the Ministry of Health and the government to go forward.
So viewers, citizens are raising serious concerns after failing to receive items shipped through Trinbago Express Shipping. In September 2025, several customers protested against the shipping company lack of communication. Reports indicated that the company has been collecting payments from customers to ship barrels from the United States to Trinidad and Tobago. but many say their goods have yet to arrive. When asked if the government intend to intervene, Trade Minister Kama Maharaj described the issue as a private matter. He was speaking outside Parliament on Wednesday. Listen to this, viewers.
Well, it's a private matter. We've been hearing about it. I think it's been investigated. A lot of reports have been made. We just have to be referring it to the authorities. A private matter, the police, anybody.
Tobago. When asked if the government intends, the Trade Minister said it's a private matter. A private matter. Maharaj further warned the public to be alert of possible scams. We have these things going on all over the world, Trinidad and Tobago, not just here. So viewers, listen to this.
You have to be careful. Use reputable people. People with records and stuff. You never know. A lot of people getting stuck. That's not the only one. There are a few of them.
Now, this is something I just always say. We have a lot of scams going on all over the world, right? Now, if you're going to do something concerning money, and you are in Trinidad, and there's supposed to be an agent in Trinidad, viewers, do your background checks. Make sure that, yes, it is a reliable company. Make sure the individuals, they are reliable. They are up to standard. Ask for paperwork. All kind of scams, viewers. All different kind of scams, So remember that, Trinidad and Tobago. But nevertheless, let's hope that these people get their return. The Senate, on October 29th, voted to approve hike in duties on alcohol and tobacco product. But with the opposition voting against and a majority of independent senators abstain in defending the government's move to amend the duties on tobacco and alcohol beverages. Minister of Planning, Dr. Kennedy Sarat Singh, stated that it will lead to increased revenue and promote healthier lifestyle choices. He said the amendment will yield an additional $1 billion in revenue for this country. Listen to this.
Therefore, this decision to increase excise duties on rum, spirits, beers, and tobacco is in no way a punitive measure, but a planned and well thought out initiative aimed at a multi-pronged result for the physical, socio-economic, and future well-being of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I don't think that the opposition will support this increase. I don't think they will do that. Now, what you have to understand is that since the UNC administration has taken up governance in Trinidad and Tobago, have you all noticed that the opposition has been going against them with every single thing they've got? Everything. They're not assisting, they don't want to help, they don't want to hear nothing. Why is this? You all were there for 9 years. Trinidad and Tobago did not see growth, it did not see betterment, it did not see an increase of anything. All the PNM administration did was add tax. Now the UNC is here now. Yes, they are adding some taxes, but under the past administration, we never saw where the tax money was going. We never saw where the tax money was going. To this date, they cannot say where millions of taxpayers' money went. Now, cigarette and alcohol, that don't really bother me. You understand? But in society today, we live among people who sell alcohol and cigarette as a daily living. So we are not going to condemn the people who make a daily bread from this. They will just have to learn how to manage it properly. That is the only thing. I know the opposition would not support this. It doesn't matter what the UNC bring on the table. PNM is not going to support it. They are not. But nevertheless, quote from World Health Organization, the ministry emphasized the urge on health risk of tobacco usage. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago. This will be educational.
Tobacco is deadly in any form. Smoked tobacco products, including vapor pipes, contains over 7,000 chemicals, with a significant amount of these additives known to be toxic or to cause cancer. Use of smokeless tobacco products can also result in serious, sometimes fatal health problems. There is global research that indicates lifelong tobacco smokers lose at least 10 years, Madam Vice President, of life on an average.
So now viewers, listen to this. The ministry said the government excess duty measures on tobacco has the potential to save the public health sector close to $260 million. He also explained that the government moved to increase duties on alcohol beverages by 100%. Listen to this.
This, if done right, can provide us with much needed resources to deal with other diseases affecting our populace, such as various types of cancer, diabetes, mental health issues, glaucoma, and much more. The new excise orders effectively increase the rates of all products that can be in competition with beer, rum, and cigarettes locally. Therefore, it includes items such as whiskey, gin, vodka, cigarettes. The idea behind this is simple. If whiskey, gin, vodka, and other spirits are very close in price to rum, then consumers would gravitate towards these other products.
So viewers, listen this, Listen this carefully. Opposition Senator Vishnu Dan Paul, remember that's the finance man for the opposition, He said the government decision does not address serious public health issues. Listen to this, we'll talk after.
The revenue raised will not be used to address the social costs of alcohol and tobacco consumption, including healthcare expenses, lost productivity, accidents, and crime. The revenue generated could have been directed towards treating addiction, health education campaigns, and supporting affected families.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Dan Paul said it is not going to help or to address the serious public health issue. So I want to ask Dan Paul now, what did his government do for 9 years to fix the seriousness of the public health issues in Trinidad and Tobago? See that you couldn't get medicine, that is one. You talk about crime. Trust me, crime escalates in all different avenues in Trinidad and Tobago. You talk about accident. We had a lot of accident by drunk drivers. So listen to this, That is what he's saying, Now, the UNC government is now in power. They brought out an amendment, a bill, that is going to help the health sector save $260 million. But Dan Paul want to talk about accident. He want to talk about crime. We're talking about health. We're talking about cigarette. We're talking about alcohol. But Dan Paul talking about crime. And he was in the Ministry of Finance. And that was his response. Imagine that, That was his response. We talk about tobacco. You hear him mention anything about smoking? No. We talk about alcohol. He talk about criminality. It's sad. You're listening. But are you responding to what you are listening? No. You're not responding to what you are listening. It is going to save the public health sector close to $260 million. Dan Paul, what's in that part you didn't understand? And you were the Minister of Finance. No wonder why when the Auditor General asked, for bill that taxpayers' money was spent on, no wonder why Allah couldn't provide it. And now realize why. I now realize why. You're listening, but you're not responding to where you're listening. So if the Auditor General asks you for bills for mango, all I want to talk about car parts. I now understand why. But it's sad. It's really sad. Now Trinidad and Tobago. Independent Senator Anthony Varela also expressed concerns over the lack of consultation with the sector that will be affected. Varela should ask the PNM which sector they had consultation with before hitting the citizens' property tax and exempting Clongenbird. That's what he should have found out. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
Businesses had already placed Christmas and Carnival orders with containers en route to Trinidad when these new rates were gazetted. Unforeseen additional costs, disrupted cash flows, and potential breaches of existing supply contracts. The absence of prior notice or transitional period undermines business confidence and creates a perception of fiscal unpredictability.
He should have been asking the PNM which consultation they had with the public before he hit them property tax. He should ask the Minister of Finance, not Minister of Finance, Stuart Young, what consultation they had before they took up millions of US and carried to Venezuela. Or what consultation they had with Trinidad and Tobago citizens by doing business with a sanctioned country. You see some of these people who like to brag them out, ask them if they're looking out for a better Trinidad and Tobago or a deploring Trinidad and Tobago. Apparently 9 years gone by was perfect for them. Some people don't like growth. They don't like growth. No wonder why we stagnant. During the 2025 budget presentation, the Minister of Finance, Devendra Tanko, announced that these measures would raise an additional $1 billion in revenue. $1 billion. When Clongenbird said, your property tax is going to generate revenue, ask him where the money went. Ask Clongenbird where the money went. Ask Clongenbird if corporations received money. To this date, none of them have received none yet. To this date. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, before we go for this short commercial break, there's a little birthday greetings that I want to send out. Her name is Marie. I believe that's her name, Marie. So to the lovely lady, she is the mother of a good friend of mine. Her name is Marie Baliram. I'm not going to say how old she is, but from Real Talk Studios, Real Talk Group of Company, my dear, we want to wish you a happy birthday. I believe today is your birthday, and I believe you had a fabulous day today. So, happy birthday to you, Marie. So, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay locked on. Lots more to come, right here on Real Talk.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
And Tobago, Education Minister Michael Dowlett have stated that while the Education Ministry has affirmed that students expelled from public schools are not eligible for readmission, this policy applies only in case of serious misconduct, such as school fights or threat to safety. I believe Joe had 2 fights they were supposed to air tonight. So Trinidad and Tobago, before I go further, I want you to look at these 2 fights that occurred yesterday and today. Look at this. Let me tell you something. I wish to God I could have showed her face, you know. The girl stood there, held on the iron, while 3 individuals beat her. One hit her, run downstairs, like nobody didn't see her. Imagine that, eh? And look at this other one. Look at this other one, Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if that's PNM children. How Gatsby Dolly going and help them? Now, viewers, pull back the first one. I want to ask you, the parents, the mothers and the fathers, if that was your daughter collecting all the hand in her back, what you would have do? Look at that one, run downstairs like nobody else see her. And this one continued to pound on her. Trinidad and Tobago, if that was your daughter, what you would have do? 2386716. I want to hear what you had to say. Let me tell you something. When Dowlett said we are going to put officers in school, the opposition run amok. Gatsby Dolly had a list of questions from A to Z. From A to Z. I'll be very bold and very frank with my words, especially coming to school bullying. I'm going to tell you this, you could have all the argument you want, but you see, hitting is a different thing. Hitting is that you make a decision to abuse somebody. Hitting is when you willfully, with intention, going to commit the act. Me being a parent, I'm going to tell you something. That child had a hide, you know. Me asking you, I'm telling you. On national television, some going to say, Saieed, you're inciting violence. Run back that video again. Ask these people, what is this? What is this? What is that? I inciting violence? Look at that child holding on that banister, that piece of iron. Taking all that shot and she back. Look at that. And you want to tell me those two on that Gatsby Dolly ministry would be home for 7 days time, and after 7 days you come back in school. Look at that Trinidad and Tobago. Responding to questions about protecting the rights of children involved in school fights, Dowlett said that the situation is not being taken lightly and mentioned some key measures being implemented. Let me hear what Dowlett had to say.
While the Ministry of Education has affirmed that students expelled from public schools are not eligible for readmission, this decision is grounded in the Education Act, Chapter 3901, and is applied in cases of serious misconduct, such as school fights or threats to safety. The Ministry has not taken this position lightly and is actively working to safeguard the right to education for these students. In implementing this aspect of school discipline, the following 4 key measures are considered. 1. Due process. Thorough investigations must be conducted by the Ministry's School Supervision and Student Support Services divisions before an order of expulsion is issued. And this takes into account the student's age, background, and discipline history.
So I believe what you saw on television was enough to get them expelled. I don't want to hear, well, oh, there was arguing whole day. Husband and wife just argue. The PNM and UNC in the parliament arguing every day. Vendors arguing, people only passing and touching up their product. Taxi driver arguing, stop slamming my door like that. Every day is an argument. Abuse is a different thing. So hopefully, those 3 students are permanently expelled from school. And I want to hear what the mother and father have to say, because if they go up on social media, viewers, their faces are there. If you go up on my page, Saieed Ali, their faces are there. I shared it. Let the world see, let Trinidad and Tobago see these young bullies, young abusers. As I say, you could have a quarrel with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, husband, wife, but you see the hitting part? That's a different story. They are school children. They have any right to be getting on like that? In Dubai, a different measure would have been taken, you know. He added that expelled student will be referred to counseling, while students aged 12 to 16 are recommended to serve all, and male aged 16 and over can enroll in the military-led academic training program, MILAT. Listen to this now.
Secondly, support services available. Expelled students and their families are referred to the appropriate government agencies, including the Ministry of the People, Social Development and Family Services, as well as the community police for counseling and training support. Thirdly, recommendation for alternative education. Students aged 12 to 16 are recommended to serve all. Male students 16 and over can be enrolled in the military-led academic training program, MILAT. Fourthly, the ministry is presently reviewing its policy on discipline.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, Dowlad noted that the ministry is reviewing the National School Code of Conduct and the National School Discipline Matrix to strike a balance. He highlighted the introduction of school-based police officers, emphasizing that disciplinary measures are implemented alongside support and mechanism. So imagine this. From now going forward, your child, once you are suspended, expelled from school, between 12 and 16, you'll be recommended to go to serve all. Male, 16 and over, you can go to MILAT. Now, when you go to this school or enroll and you tell them you were expelled from school, well, there's a different category of a human breed we are dealing with. So you didn't want your education. You rather go to school and found it fit to take it upon yourself to abuse another child who come to the same school for education. So use a badge on. You want to play a bully in school? No problem. But have places for all you. It have places for all you. I wonder what Gatsby Dolly is saying now. One question about the rehabilitation. Students placed in the criminal justice system, Dowlat stress that the students who engage in violent conduct must face firm consequences. But they must also not be abandoned. Nobody say abandon them, you know. Nobody say abandon them. But the child have to understand the consequences he took. There's a reaction to his consequences, and him or her alone must be able to feel it. Listen to this.
The Honorable Prime Minister has made it abundantly clear that violence, assault, and disorder in our schools will not be tolerated. Her concern is rooted in the fundamental principle that children can only learn and teachers can only teach in an environment that is safe, secure, and orderly. This government has therefore taken decisive action to ensure that discipline and learning go hand in hand. The Ministry of Education fully acknowledges that while students who engage in violent conduct must face firm consequences, they must also not be abandoned. That is why, under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, we have embedded in the National School Code of Conduct a framework that couples zero tolerance for violence with clear measures for rehabilitation, reintegration, and alternative education. To this end, 4 initiatives are being implemented.
Trinidad and Tobago, we have a short commercial break, but I want you to stay locked on because we're going to hear what the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Juna Benjamin, has to say after tonight when we return.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So welcome back to Real Talk viewers. Just a little reminder, Real Talk Financing, remember, we offer you 5% on fixed deposit. The only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is doing that, viewers. Now, when you sign up for a fixed deposit with Real Talk Financing, 14 days after, one of our rep will call you to come and collect your interest up front. Remember that, viewers? It's only Real Talk Financing giving you that offer in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody else. So if you want higher interest rate for your hard-earned dollar, it's only Real Talk Financing doing that, viewers. Remember that. More money, more power. That's what you're getting. More money, more power. So, Trinidad and Tobago. Deputy Police Commissioner Junior Benjamin have stated that there has been a noticeable reduction in school violence since police officers were deployed to high-risk schools almost 2 months ago. However, he said, while incidents inside schools have declined, some are now spilling onto the streets. Now, the Deputy Commissioner, is saying that the school violence in high-risk areas have been cut down. But apparently now, they decide to go on the streets now to fight. So what we have to have on the streets now, army officials after school over to hit them some hard bellas in the head and tell them go home? No, I'm being real. Look at school. Look at that. Outside. Outside. What is the solution? What is the solution? Now, according to Benjamin said, the initiative has already led to positive behavioral changes as officers are building relationship with students. Listen to this.
We are also recognizing that as we continue to communicate with the principals and with students, you recognize that there is a greater breakthrough as relates to community partnership and creating that bond so that people do not see the police just as a big bad wolf, but more so as a big brother in some cases.
So Benjamin, who heads the administrative, said there are no immediate plans to expand the program, but it will continue as long as it remains effective. Benjamin.
We are going to be liaising with the Ministry of Education to constantly again analyze the schools that we are in and see if there's a need for us to continue in those schools, those that we could probably move off from, and probably there might be other schools that might be troubled schools that they might need us to be in.
So viewers, how do we fix this problem? How do we fix it? You're working hard, you're sending your child to school for somebody to beat them up. How are we fixing it? I just say thank God nobody doing that for my children, you know. I tell you now, you know, I just say thank God, you know. Because there's a different side you're going to be seeing, you know. Trust me, the parents and children got to leave Trinidad, you know. Me asking you, I'm telling you. You're going to have to leave Trinidad. Because I am a horse. When the color change, it is be different, you know. But nevertheless, viewers, Tobago House of Assembly will inject an additional $300 million into development project next year, raising its development budget to $501 million, while keeping all other spending at 2025 levels. Finance Secretary Petel Ann Robinson made the announcement at the press briefing on Wednesday. Listen to this.
The strategy that we discussed at the retreat for fiscal 2026 is to constrain our expenditure to fiscal 2025 levels. That means whatever divisions spend in fiscal 2025, we expect them to spend on those same levels, and we have identified for each division what the cap is. So that would cause us to be able to shift from recurrent to development, and we intend to shift approximately $300 million.
So now, viewers, the THA's total allocation for fiscal 2026 stands at $2.96 billion, with an additional $18 million for the Employment Relief Program, URP, and $9.2 million for the Community-Based Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, which is CPEP. Robert said both programs will be
As a matter of fact, we want to look at them being more efficient and productive. So CPEP will be aligned to agriculture, URP will be aligned to more sustainable development goals. So these programs are very pivotal for our development, and therefore we continue to make the investment in CPEP and URP.
So now, viewers, she added that the renewed development drive will target 6 key areas. Let's hear it.
These areas are tourism, agriculture, digital transformation, or the use of digital technologies in public service delivery, human capital development, the investment in the micro, small, and medium enterprises, and infrastructure. So most of our projects that were discussed here today are going to surround these areas.
So, growth in Trinidad and Tobago. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program. And you're asking questions about how to deal with this miscreants we have in society that are going to grow up to be notorious criminals.
Correct.
It is easy to pass laws. The politician, they have to deal with this, you know. In the budget, you are hearing nothing they said, or even in the debate, nothing said how to deal with these delinquents, you know. But you know what? They pass laws to tax you and I. It is wrong for me to build a house. These children seen that it is wrong for me to build a nice big house. It's tax. I don't know what politicians have with our house. Those miscreants are supposed to go to parliament and pass laws to deal with them. Have a bus at that school, mark police on it, carry all of them in their uniform down to the station. You want to bet that will be a deterrent for these miscreants in this country who have intention of behaving like that? But no laws passed, nothing but to advantage the hard-working citizens of this country. It is easy to pass laws. And I telling you, if Gavero and the police want to deal with issues, come to St. Julian Village. We have some secondary schools, two secondary schools, Princeton East and West. You will be amazed and shocked to see what happened in these maxis that is loaded. You have these girls sitting on the boys and loaded with, and if you hear the kind of music they play, they have the private bus, the white bus, early morning, evening when they leave school, and heading them. How children going to study when they go to school? The whole mind, noise corrupt your mind, you know. Mr. Sai, you know this, noise damage your brain. They pass laws to deal with alcohol and things. But when a man drinks alcohol, he gets drunk. Is he alone affected? But noise in these maxis and the village and community affect a whole community, you know. And like these school children, when you're here early morning, you can't study. Your whole brain and mind upset with this rubbish you're hearing in the maxi. You're telling you, if you ever sit on a 9mm gun along kind of thing, early morning and in the evening, passing up and down the road, you know. So the politicians only pass laws to deal with these miscreants, treat them serious like criminals, and this go fix. Great program, Mr. Sai. Keep up the great work you are doing.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, big topic now in our land today. Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro is urging the people of Trinidad and Tobago to resist what he calls a U.S. effort to start a war in the Caribbean. Is the U.S. starting a war? Or are they going after drug cartels? That is a legitimate war. They want to end the drug cartels. They want to make sure that the international waters and the Caribbean waters are safe from drug runners. Speaking during a televised community event in Miranda State on Wednesday, Maduro said both nations should unite for peace and not allow external force to create division. His remarks come amid heightened tension following the arrival of U.S. warship USS Gravely in Trinidad on Sunday. Part of what Washington described as a regional operation targeting drug cartels. So the ship USS Gravely has departed Trinidad and Tobago. So I wonder what Maduro now is going to use. You see, we have to understand that they came to train our defense force soldiers in different tactics. They never came to start a war in Trinidad. And this is what the opposition is refusing to tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So I wonder now, how Penny is going to embrace Maduro now and say what? And say what? But I'll tell you this. We in Trinidad, we love a conflict. You know why I'm saying that? Kamala Persad-Bissessar is the only prime minister in this Caribbean. I hear you there, Nav. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is the only prime minister who stood up and agreed with Donald Trump to fix the drug problem in the Caribbean. The only one. So I want to ask the CARICOM leaders, are they okay with drugs in their country? Are they okay? Maduro, however, views the deployment as an attempt by the US President Donald Trump to force regime change in Caracas. He said Venezuelans have taken to the streets in peaceful march across the country calling for a peace and solidarity. Venezuelan leader also accused the United States of spreading discord and hate to pit neighboring countries against each other. You see, I'm going to tell you something. We have drug problems in Trinidad and in Tobago. We have cartels running the borders. We have drug traffickers. So do we have a problem? Yes, we have a problem in Trinidad and Tobago. We see any Caribbean countries or CARICOM trying to fix the drug problem? No, we didn't see that. All these big high-end meetings. Only meetings and meetings and meetings and nothing came out of it. Donald Trump said, you know what, I'm going to fix it. And he started to fix it. CARICOM against it now. Why? Are you okay with it? How many of you in Trinidad have drug sons and drug daughters? How many of the moms get beaten up from son thieving money? How many communities have bandits as drug dealers? Cry out to the police, what you're getting? What you're getting? So somebody decided to stand up, everybody going against her. It's sad, eh? It's sad. We rather live on a lie than live on the truth. We rather live in fear than walk the road peacefully. We rather live on hate than spread love. It's sad, but this is Trinidad and Tobago. This is CARICOM. The only person who stood up is Kamala Persad-Bissessar. The only one. Imagine. Venezuelan ambassador in Trinidad here. He didn't go to Kamala Persad-Bissessar to talk about her issue, you know. You know who he ran to? He ran to the opposition leader like she had the power to do something in the country. It's sad. It's really sad. It goes to show the difference of two individuals, one willing to fix, one willing to encourage. At the end of the day, it comes down to the police in the community. That is where it boils down to. The police in the community to keep the community safe and drug-free. So my question tonight is now, why is it Maduro feel it fit to blame Kamala? Venezuelans are marching in Venezuela blaming Kamala. Kamala launch any ship at them? Kamala send any submarine at them? Kamala send any Marines at them from the United States? No. Donald Trump afraid. They are afraid to attack Maduro. They're afraid. Maduro is the kingpin. So why Maduro now don't go direct to Trump? He can't. But you blame the country right next to you, which is Trinidad. It's sad, you know. He went after Guyana. Guyana went to Trump. You know Maduro ain't doing Venezuela, Guyana again? He decided to start with who? Trinidad. Is the opposition siding with Maduro? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. So it's sad we have people in parliament. Instead of they fix the country, they want to see the country go down. The same country where they're getting up every morning in. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, this is the country we live in. Some want it fixed, some don't want it fixed. Some rather drive on the streets in fear. Some rather live that, you know what, by leaving my house, buying sure to come back, you know. That's the kind of life we want in this country. And that's the kind of life we had for 9 years. Because when bandits started storm, everybody afraid. The country was living in fear. Everybody blaming Kamala. But is anybody blaming Maduro? That not labeling Trump? He can't label Trump. He labeling Kamala. As we starting the war. How much Caribbean countries you see siding to fix the drug problem in the Caribbean or in them country? Absolutely none. Absolutely none. So which means they're encouraging the drug trade. It's sad, isn't it? Until some of them train. I say it without apology. Until some of them ministers' kids ain't get gunned down by criminals, they won't understand the values of citizens who live in fear in this country. Take what I'm telling all you. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we're out of time for tonight. Our run of this program is from 11:30 to 12:30 tomorrow. We'll be right back on next night for Real Talk with Saieed as we go live again. Until then, be safe.